Hi guys, it's Laura here from Grain & Company. So I'm just going to start the ornaments. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do the white on the background. Now I would prefer to roll these, but I will definitely do them with the sponge this time. So take your white and we're just going to cover these backs. Now don't worry about the score marks. As long as you can see them, it doesn't matter because they'll be covered up once we start putting all the pieces together. So really just grab your sponge and your paint, start in the middle and work your way up. Now don't worry about leaving the top. I mean, you can leave it unpainted, but we've got pieces to go over top of that. So just because I forgot the gray on the last video doesn't mean we're gonna need it on this one. Okay, so we're just going to continue. Actually, no, I think I did them white, so we're all good. So these ones we're going to do white. All right, so first coat on there, and I'm just going to speed up this video and do this really fast. Okay, so I've done my first coat. As you can see, I haven't, because a lot of these have a piece that goes over top. So as you can see, I'm just going to grab this one. As long as I go up high enough and wide enough on there, then you won't worry about that gap. So if you need to double check, make sure you've gone enough. It's usually in here that you need to make sure you're high enough. Yeah, so you're okay, just as long as you're, so while we're doing white, because you've got the white on here, and then you also have white on your snowflakes. Okay, so I've got the rest of the white pieces, so I will break it up into each one that I took them off of. So you'll have one of these from each section of the ornament, so you'll grab those. Okay, so I'm going to stick them on tape. You'll have the bottom part of this one. Okay, so that's the snow for that one. You'll have this one, which comes from here with the one with the reindeer, and then there's one more underneath there. So you'll need that one as well. And then you'll need all of your snowflakes. So it doesn't matter if you group them together. These are all the exact same, and they are extremely fragile. So you need to be very careful when handling them. So I'm just gonna grab some more tape here. I'm gonna set it over here. I know you can't see it quite as well, but I know you guys know how to paint these. So I'm just gonna set them. Now just make sure you're painting the right side, because when you flip it over, you kind of hard to tell which is the adhesive side, but there's just the slightest sheen, or you can see some green on the back there too. So just set them into place, or you can see some char. That one's pretty bad. Now when you're taking apart your pieces for your ornaments, I'm going to grab my other piece here. You can find a bunch of them that have, like, you'll see the tape is cut out and you might have a piece taped on top. It's because that piece got stuck in there and I just can't get it out without ruining it. So that's why we put a replacement piece on top. So that is why some of you, not all of you, will have a piece like that. Just because there's glue in the wood sometimes and it just doesn't cut all the way through. So next, take your sponge again and then just continue painting a coat of white on these as well. So let's go through them once. Oops. This one I'm just going to hold. And then when you do the snowflakes, just make sure you take off, like, there's hardly any paint on there, and because you don't want any paint seeping through. Okay, so that is all your white pieces. What you'll do is go through and paint them. The backs probably will take three light coats. These ones, you know, you can do 3 as well. However many coats you do, I will come back when these are all done, and then we'll move on to another color. All right, so I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, bye. I'm just gonna come back on for a second. So if you feel very nervous about sanding these, I would say just leave it. Really, all you should do is just gently glide that across the top. I wouldn't be very vigorous. I wouldn't lift my sandpaper. I would just gently move it across, and that's all it needs. Those edges are very fine. That is more than enough for it to sand those. And then, you know what, really, because there's not much surface area here, that's all you need. And then you can do your 2 or 3 coats, however you want to do it. Okay? Hope that helps. Okay guys, so my ornaments are all done. They have 3 coats of white. I've done white on everything else here. So I'm just gonna set these to the side, and I'm gonna move on to doing the stain, because I need to do it with the red and the stain on the sled. So I prefer to stain first. So here are the pieces. So we're gonna stain the Merry Christmas. I'm just gonna set that gently on some tape. We're gonna stain the bottom of the sled here. We're going to stain all of that, and we're going to stain all of this. So we're going to need some gloves, so I will be right back. Okay, so I have my gloves, and you don't need very much. So I would say, this is usually how I cheat when I do it, but I would just take my container on my sponge, and I'm gonna find the flat one first. I'm gonna do this one. And I'm gonna wipe that off, so find some paper towel. Then I'm gonna gently take this one, and I'm just gonna tap the tops of these. You don't wanna run that back and forth because you don't want to break that. So I'm just kind of gently pushing the sponge into the letters, and I'm not even going to wipe it. I'm just going to leave it because there's not a whole lot on there. And then I'm just going to do this one more time. There's not very much. I'm going to do my deer here because I can go all over, and then when I need to go back and paint the extra pieces there, then we can do that. Now I didn't send black along, but you're gonna just eventually, if you have black or a black marker, you're just gonna come in here and paint those hooves black. There's really not enough to send along to do that, so anything black will work. Now I'm just coming in here. If I get a little stain over top of where the red is gonna be, not a big deal because that'll cover it up. So that's why I did it that way, and I just squished that extra little bit in there, and so that's done. So yeah, so those ones are done, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do, I think, I don't know, let's do some red. Actually, let's do some green because we'll let this one dry first, and then we'll move on to red. So be right back. Hi guys, I'm really not sure while I was editing what happened with the video because the volume all went down and it's messed up. So the part I need to explain to you is how to do the dots because it's not on there. So you'll grab your red paint. If you have an embossing tool, you can do it, like if it's a little bit bigger like this. But what you're gonna do, I'm just gonna use a back end of a paintbrush because it's about the same size as the dots. So what you do is dip that end, and let's just pretend there's a dot on my project. Then I just gently take it to the center of that dot and press, and then there's the dot there. So that might not be big enough as those circles on there. So what I do is I gently swirl the bottom of my brush just to pull it out a little bit bigger to kind of match. But if you look at mine, mine aren't perfect. They don't all go right to the edge. This one does, this one doesn't. So you just do your best to fill those in, but dipping it into the paint each time and then going to the center of the dot and press. And if it's not big enough, just gently swirl that. Then that's all that you need to do those dots. And I'm sorry I don't have a video of me doing it. I don't really know what happened. That's the first time, but there is the rest of it all works, but there's probably a good half an hour that isn't. So sorry guys, but I'll stick that in there so you guys can see how I did that. Okay, bye. Hey guys, I'm back here to start assembling the ornaments. So this one I'm going to start with is the one with the deer, and I realized that I forgot to do one quick little thing. So while I'm assembling, I'll add the deer on last. So like I said, you can come in here and paint the hooves. I've got a paint pen. If I had a black marker, I could do that as well. Nothing fancy for here, or you could just take a paintbrush and some black paint. That's really all you need to do this part. Okay, so those are there. You could even use some dark brown paint if you wanted to. And the other little part I forgot to do, and I think I even forgot it on the sample, is to paint the nose. So you can either do it red for Rudolph, or just take your black paint pen and color that in there. So I'm just gonna take my brush and a tiny paintbrush here and just come in here and paint that red. So I'm gonna let that dry off to the side while I do the rest, and then we can put him on after. So all right. Okay, so let's begin with the bottom part and work our way up a little bit. So I'm gonna do the bottom part of the bell, which is the red. And I'm just gonna peel that off and line it up. Now remember, just let it lay on top so that you have the ability to move it, and then once you're good, then you can give it a press and put it in place. And I think I want to just stress this a little bit more. Okay, move this up here so you can see better. I think, yeah, that should be. Hold on guys, let's slide this in the center. There we go. All right, so this one should just bump up to the previous one. Just make sure it's even on both sides. Press into place. So while that one is drying, we'll do these. So with these ones, please be very careful because the arms of this, the greenery going out can easily break. So I'm gonna try and peel it with the flow of the greenery because that's a little bit easier. And so I'm just gonna start at the top and let one side rip, and then gently pull that off, and then repeat. You have to stabilize it so you're not pulling too hard. Now this one will come up here and line up with the top. So once that one's good, give that one a press. Oops, don't need those ones. So that part's done. I'm going to carefully hold this without touching the nose. It's easier to put this one on and then put the snowflakes around it. So this one, you'll line up with those score marks. So if you've positioned it correctly, you shouldn't see any of those score marks. So that one's fine, so I'm just going to press it where I haven't done anything. Now with the snowflakes, let me just see if I remember. They fit exactly in every direction. Hold on. I think so. There might be one snowflake, or there might be some of them, I'm not sure, that you have to just keep turning until it kind of covers it up. But so with these, they're so very fragile. So definitely support it and gently peel that off. So I just grabbed one corner and I was able to gently peel that back, and it was fine. So just lay it down and go over those score marks. So that one's fine. I don't see any of my score marks and it's laying right over top, and then just press it into place. Now I haven't sanded these, and I probably won't unless they're all attached, and then I might just gently take that sandpaper over top, but really they're fine the way they are now. If you don't have any nails, you can use a knife or a pin to kind of carefully grab that. You usually can peel it all at once. All right, same thing. Just drop it, bring it over to where it is. That one is fine. Give it a press. All right, I lost a little bit of this corner over here, so I'm just that one's pretty good, so then just give that one a press. Okay, so that one is done. So I'm just gonna pause and grab the rest of the pieces of another one. Okay, the next one I'm gonna do is the bell-shaped, kind of like, no, not a bell-shaped. This one's just some ornate shape. Just gonna give this piece of sand. This is the one I forgot to do. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to start with the bottom, then go to the top, and then fill in those other pieces. So I've sanded all my pieces prior to putting this together, other than the snowflakes. So that way you don't have to watch me sand them all. Just find the best way to balance it where you're not putting any pressure on those pieces, and you should be fine. Press that one in there. Okay, so with the trees, one fits in the middle, one fits there. Oops. And one fits into this one here. So it's best to, and you can see with the curve of the tree at the bottom, like they all fit once they are put together. They only really fit one way where they're gonna fit nice. So this one doesn't have score marks. So make sure that tree is straight first, and then when you put that one in here. So definitely make sure you get this one lined up first. And that center really should be the center of the top piece there, so, or even this piece. So I've just gently laid it on top there in case I have to shift it ever so slightly. Okay, so I'm going to set this one on. Okay. And tuck this one in here. Okay, so that one's got a slight gap. Just gonna wiggle this one a little bit. There we go. I'd rather keep this tree straight than shift it too much. And it could be just if I had to recut it in the laser or something, so I'm not overly worried about this piece. So I'm just gonna leave it. So that is number 2. That one's done. Okay, so back with the next one. So this piece we will put on first. Okay. So you might, even though this is lined up at the top, you might just have to gently push this into place to match the curve, but it's really not a whole lot. Okay, now you've got your big one. I think, is it this one that's a little bit temperamental? Hold on, let me check. Yes, I think. Okay, so I think it's this one. So Just gonna keep turning. I tried to fix it so it wasn't as difficult. So I suggest keeping the adhesive on and keep turning it until you find it exactly fits and covers those score marks. I'm sure I fixed this. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Of course, the last time is okay. So try and hold it so you remember which is the top. So when you're peeling off the bag, you're just going to have to make sure you don't forget. Okay, so I remember I grabbed it like that, so if I put it back over, just gonna lay it there till I can tell. Yeah, so then I can just put that one in place. These ones were fine again. Didn't really find any problem with those, so. Sure, hold on here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Whoops. Well, it's fine. All right. I'm gonna fast forward this part because I can see every single end. I gotta peel off separately. There we go. Okay. All right, so that is number 3. I'll go grab the last one. Okay, so back with number 4. So I've sanded all these, but just be careful when you're sanding the bottom here. I would suggest just going one way rather than back and forth in case you catch one of those ends. So we're gonna start with the sleigh, and there's 2 layers to it. Use those score marks. Okay. Okay, so this one matches the curve here. Okay, so that's that one. I'm not sanding the words till at least I get them on. They're just as delicate as the snowflakes, so I don't want to break those. Of course, this one separates the adhesive right where I need it to continue, but So I'm just gonna speed this one up too, guys. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, so with these, almost even more fragile than the snowflake. So for every place you're peeling, you should be supporting it. So don't start here and then pull, because you'll snap it as you work your way down. So move your fingers wherever you're pulling and make sure you're supporting that wood right down to the end of the word. There you go. All right, and then use those score marks to line up that word. Okay, so yeah, okay, so that one give a press. And Christmas will even be worse because it's longer. The adhesive sticking out the back here. Okay, so those ones are on there. So I'm just gonna gently run that over. Okay, so that's that part. And then the snowflakes, she doesn't have any score marks, so you can just set those wherever you like. Okay. And so then those are all done. So of course, I forgot one other thing, is I forgot my string. So each of those strings that you have, I like to fold them in half and tie the end. And then I'll take the loop end and feed it through the hole from the back. And as that loop comes through, I'll tuck the strings through that and then pull. And then that's how I would hang those. So those are done. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I look forward to seeing you guys back for December's box. All right, thanks guys, bye.